So with this, now we will move forward to our next and one of the important panel discussion. And we have two very important speakers who have joined us. And for this, we have a very senior bureaucrat. She's known for several transforming initiatives with the state government of Maharashtra earlier. Now she is the Special Director for Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, Mussoorie, Uttarakhand, where all the IAS officers get trained and get their initial training from. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Radhika Rastogi, Special Director, Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration. A huge round of applause. Also, we are joined by a young dynamic bureaucrat who has become quite popular for her role to going on the ground and looking into it, to see to it that emergency and disaster management is taken care of on the ground during the floods recently in Assam. Join me in welcoming Ms. Kirti Jalli, Deputy Commissioner, Kamrup District, Assam. A huge round of applause for this young dynamic IAS officer. We are also joined by yet another officer all the way from Madhya Pradesh. He has headed several departments related to education, skill, industry and commerce. And currently he is serving as the Secretary for Medium, Small and Micro Enterprise and Industry with Government of Madhya Pradesh. Please join me in welcoming Shri P. Narahari, Secretary, MSME Department of Madhya Pradesh. He will be joining us virtually. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Narahari. And on the stage we have Radhika Rastogi Madam, who is the Special Director, Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, and also Ms. Kirti Jalli, Deputy Commissioner, Kamrup District, Assam. So now I would request Radhika Rastogi ma'am to chair this session with all her rich experience in Maharashtra, now serving for Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy, where all the IAS officers are trained and they learn the initial teaching and the training out there. We would wanted you to take us through, and also the audience out here, through the changing face of governance and how technology is playing its role, and sustainable development goals and socio-economic development and the rural landscape, how it is transforming. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Bureaucracy and its role has undergone a lot of change. In fact, even within my own career of 27 years, I can see a lot of change. And initially, even the kind of training which was given, when I went to LBS NAA, it was all about, learn about the rules, learn about procedures, stick to the rules, go by the procedure. And if you follow it, nothing will happen to you. But now, things have changed. Because most of the times, the rules are not updated as fast as they should be. The environment is changing for various reasons. The situation which a bureaucrat has to face cannot be taught in a classroom. Each experience is different, each situation is unique, and no standing operating procedure can actually encompass these entire scenarios. And therefore, under the new mission Karma Yogi, what we emphasize is rules are important, but they're not everything. Rules will be there, but it is for us to play our role as a facilitator, as a development administrator, as a regulator, and ensure that we are able to deliver on the goals, on whatever the situation demands from us. So if rules need to be changed, then so be it. If we need a new policy that has to be put in place, so be it. So the entire emphasis has changed. And by and large, how many of you want to get into the civil services? Let me know first. Only one? Oh, not a very happy sign. Okay, very few of you. So, what do you all want to become? So, let me understand that. Or you can just, speak aloud, I can hear. What would you like to become? Because if there are only 7 to 8...
You can raise your hands in the audience who have the question.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
I'm from NESC. My name is Mriganki Kevara. I want to join Indian Army.
Indian Army. Excellent.
I'm
Excellent.
also NCC cadet also.
Oh, great. Lovely.
I got my C certificate with alpha grading, 95%. But because of some medical problem, I can't join defense. But I will try in Assam Police.
Oh,
SI.
great. You can join the IPS, Indian Police Service.
Yes, ma'am. I will join SSC also if I
Yeah,
can.
sure.
That's it, ma'am.
Okay. Others?
Thank you, ma'am.
Those who don't want to join the civil services. Yes, please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
My name is Anorna Bordoloy. I am from Pukamrup College. I want to become an IS officer.
Okay.
So, how can it will be become an IS officer?
Okay. Fine. Because not many raise their hands for the civils. How many of you want to, say, go into the hospitality industry or become a chef? Anybody here wants to be a chef? Yeah, there's one. Okay. IT? How many kids want to get into IT? No one into the IT? Engineering? Broadly, all streams. Medicine? Wow. Okay. Films? Fashion industry? Textiles? No? No, I think unless we ask each and everyone, fine, then I'll have to speak in a general way. But by and large, okay, one from, good. So the number of options that are available to you are many. But by and large, and each sector is doing well. Yesterday you heard, right? Some of them are taking home a salary in crores of rupees, not from the civil service. Civil services don't pay you like that. And by and large, every sector forces you to be competitive, and so does the civil services. We come through a very competitive exam, right? More than 15 lakh people write, and then a handful, some 800, 500 people actually join every year. So, we are forced to be competitive right from a very young age. But for us to be effective administrators, we need to learn to collaborate, which is very difficult. Because all along, we have been taught to walk alone, right? Fight alone. Don't share your stuff with others. You should be the first, right? The best. So that doesn't actually promote a conducive atmosphere or promote collaborative spirit. So what the Honorable Prime Minister also felt was the bureaucracy, people are not willing to work together. A lot of competition. Everybody wants to be recognized in their own right and not as a team. So he called for de-siloization of the civil services, which is one of the founding principles of Mission Karma Yogi, that we should join hands with everybody, not just within the government, but also outside the government, again, which the Honorable Prime Minister calls Jana Bhagidari. So these are the values which we are trying to inculcate in the young civil servants who come to Mussoorie for their training. And this is how I would say, the role of bureaucracy is changing. Earlier, everything was with the government. Now you see a whole lot of stuff is outside government. Earlier, if you need a telephone connection, you would have to go to the telephone department. Now, no, there are so many private operators and everybody prefers the private operator. So how do you deal with it? So several organs of the government, several organizations within government are becoming redundant and their role is undergoing a change. So we are more of a facilitator. And you will see a whole lot of collectivization happening under various schemes of government. Earlier, it was like, we give subsidies, we give some benefits. So it is somebody is giving and the people are recipients. We don't see that anymore. Here, it's more of working together. You will see farmer-producer companies, self-help groups of women, right? Have you heard of self-help groups? Yes or no? Have you heard of farmer-producer companies? clusters of industries. So all these are small farmers, small and micro enterprises, individual women who are not very well off, who are coming together, forming groups, and then deciding what kind of economic activity or livelihoods they want to pursue. So it is not somebody telling them, you do this, we have this, so we'll give you this. No. They are deciding for themselves, and government only acts as a facilitator. And in everything, there's a lot of consultative process. If you see now, most of the policies of the government, before they become policies, they are displayed on the portals of the respective departments or ministries. And opinion of the public is sought. Nothing is done in isolation. Unfortunately, not many people from the public actually participate in this dialogue. But yes, one or two do give their opinions, right? And these opinions are taken into account. Also, the interface, the bureaucratic interface with the people's representatives themselves interfacing with the people, this has increased a lot, right? It's not as though we can sit in our offices and then conduct administration. We have to understand the psyche of the people. What is it that you would want, and deliver on those aspirations, right? It is the people's aspirations which form the foundation for governance and not otherwise. And if we were to talk of rural India, I would say these self-help groups, farmer producer companies, collectives, they are changing the face, the way we are administering, the way we are governing. So it's no more top-down. If you actually see, by and large, like, you know, media is different. There's agriculture department, animal husbandry department, there's an industries department, there's an education department. So a whole lot of verticals are there in government which deliver services, right? That's what we have seen all these days. But now you will see there are groups of women who are taking over the jobs of government, because many times maybe the frontline workers like an agriculture assistant or animal husbandry assistant, or sometimes even the teachers in remote villages, they're not willing to go. And what happens? There's a vacancy. But the need for these services is there. The services are required to be delivered even in these areas. So how do we ensure that the services reach the general public? You will find in many places, in almost all the states of our country, you have Krishi Sakhis. Now what are Krishi Sakhis? These are women from within the village, part of the self-help groups, who are trained in various aspects of agriculture. You know, a particular crop, when should it be sown? What kind of pests may attack this crop? And what kind of, insecticides or pesticides do you need to use? What fertilizers need to be given? How much and when? So these women who are there 24/7 in the village, they are becoming the frontline workers. In fact, though the scheme did not envisage it that way, but the role these women are playing is immense. Similarly, you have Pashu Sakhis. And these women are trained in animal husbandry, goatery, poultry, piggery. So they are the ones who are attending. They are there 24/7 in the village and providing the services. They are even promoting these sectors, right? You have Patrakar Didis in Jharkhand. Now what the Patrakar Didis are doing, like say young girls like you, maybe your mother is a member of a self-help group. So you will tweet about the self-help group's activities, what is it that they are doing, what kind of products are available, what kind of services can be given by these self-help groups, right? And under the Prime Minister Awas Yojana, earlier there's a Mason scheme, Mason training scheme, and it would be entirely men. Masonry has been traditionally a male domain. But now, in Bihar, Jharkhand, you will find Rani Mistris, not Raja Mistris. So they themselves have come forward. There are aspirations. So it is for the government to react to these aspirations. People are becoming more vocal. They are talking about, so the Rani Mistris, they tell with pride, you know, we understand what kind of a house the woman requires. right? If I have to construct a kitchen platform, if it's a male mason, he will just do a standard platform. But I look at the height of the woman, right? The lady of the house. So depending on her house, I will adjust the height of the kitchen platform. See? Small things, but they make a world of difference for any of us who have cooked. If the platform is very high, it's so difficult. It will create all kinds of back issues, right? So many, the face of rural India is changing because people are mobilizing themselves into collectives. People are deciding for themselves, and many of these women are also maintaining roads, rural roads. The contracts are given in Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar. If you go to Bihar, you will find in all the government hospitals, the catering has been given to these self-help groups. Didi ki rasoi, you know, very good food. It's not like regular commercial business kind of food which you get. Because by and large, if you see any canteen anywhere, be it in an educational institution, be it a hospital or whatever, they don't taste as good, right? But you go to Didi ki rasoi, the taste is very different. It's like home-cooked food, right? And freshly made. So there's a difference in the way government is approaching various problems of the community, the society, and I think there's a lot of difference. And it can only happen because now people are getting involved. See, it can't be like one is a giver and another is a taker. It's a partnership. And that partnership is becoming more and more active with every passing day. We have bank sakhis. So there may be many women or men in the rural areas who have never been to a bank. Or they're too old to go and, conduct their businesses. So the bank sakhi, if there's an old age pension that the lady is supposed to get, she will deliver at her doorstep. So I would say, when we say minimum government and maximum governance, you can't create for every village all these frontline workers. But you can have these frontline activists from within the community who are making this service delivery possible. So all of you can, in fact, see how the service delivery mechanism has changed. It is not that you have to be a government appointee to be able to do something worthwhile. You can be part of the community, you can be wherever you are, but you can reach out. Similarly, industries cluster, I am sure Mr. Narahari will elaborate on that. There are many clusters. In fact, in Maharashtra, if I were to say, the first cluster was a cluster of farmers. Now, these farmers, they were growing grapes. And grapes is such a crop, if before harvest, there should be a rain. Then there'll be spots on the grapes and they are not accepted in the local market. So you just have to throw them away. And these farmers came together, and under the cluster development scheme, there's a component where they'll say, the government will give 80%, you have to contribute 20%. You can go anywhere in the world also by doing that. And then see how they conduct their business. So this group of farmers went to Turkey. And then they saw the way they were making raisins out of these grapes, and how even the third quality grapes, if you sort them out, there's a market for every grade of grape. So you just have to reach out to the market. So they came back, took the infrastructure component from the government, and they set up a facility just like what they saw in Turkey. And then they started aseptic grading, sorting, packaging. And they found that even if these third grade grapes are their raisins, they have a market in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and all these places. So now, from farmers who were at the mercy of climate, they have become exporters. They have become industrialists. So it's up to you. How do you find a way out? Maybe if you just stay where you are, you may not find. Look around you, travel, and study, research about each sector. Then maybe you'll find several options that are open. And as civil servants, as development administrators, this is what we are trying to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A round of applause for Radhika Rastogi, madam. Now, I would request our guest from Madhya Pradesh, yet another bureaucrat, senior who's headed several departments including education and skill, industry and commerce, and now as the secretary for MSME department, government of Madhya Pradesh. Over to you, sir. We would like to hear from you how is the face of governance changing, and what are the best practices and innovations towards skill development and employment, ultimately leading to the growth and progress of the region. Over to you.
Very good morning to everybody. Respected Radhika Rastogi ma'am, Ms. Kirti Jalli, and the organizers of IndiGlobal Bharat Summit 2023, and all those who are present in the auditorium at Guwahati. Thank you so much for inviting me to this prestigious summit and giving me an opportunity to express my views. I think it's a great opportunity for the youngsters to understand what governments are doing, and for the budding bureaucrats to understand in which direction is the government trying to do several such activities which are very, very important for the youngsters. And as ma'am has rightly mentioned, there is a lot of change which is happening in the governments. There is a huge leap that we are trying to take as far as governance is concerned. And I would like to mention that in the field of entrepreneurship, self-employment, government of Madhya Pradesh is doing many things, and we are following the footsteps of government of India in this particular field. I would like to mention here that this is an era of self-employment and startups. And as you are all aware, Government of India has taken a wonderful initiative called Startup India program a few years back. And we are now the world's third largest startup ecosystem in the world. And in a small span of 7 years, we have been able to establish more than 85,000 startups in our country. And gone are those days. And I would like to tell the youngsters sitting here that it used to take 50 years, it used to take 100 years for a company to begin and establish themselves into a 1,000 crore company or a 10,000 crore company. Now it nearly takes 4 years to 5 years for a startup to become a unicorn. That is the pace at which our economy is growing. That is the pace at which governments are supporting all those startups and budding entrepreneurs to actually, right from their nascent stage till they become a unicorn. At every stage of a startup and an MSME, the state governments and the government of India is immensely contributing to ensure our startups, our MSMEs, our entrepreneurs actually establish companies which are meaningful and which actually are able to create a change in the society. So I would request each one of you that whoever is interested in actually trying to start a startup or want to establish an MSME or a company or a small company, if you have the idea, if you have the innovation, and if you are able to design and make certain changes to the processes, and if you are able to design new ways of manufacturing, if you are able to design new ways of actually doing the same thing in such a way that it is either solving the societal problems or it is solving the requirements of the market, then your startup will definitely make an impact in the society. We in Madhya Pradesh have come up with our own startup policy, and in a small time of less than a year, we have been able to establish more than 2,750 startups in Madhya Pradesh, and 2 such startups are already on the verge of becoming unicorns. So my request to all of you is that this is the best time to understand, and this is the best time when you are in the college, try to sit in an incubation center, try to work it out with your teachers, with your friends as to what kind of innovation you can actually make. Entrepreneurship is the one thing that is actually going to guide our country in the coming 25 years. Honorable Prime Minister's vision of making India the largest economy in the world, or in a couple of years we want to become a $5 trillion economy, All these things are possible only our youngsters and those who have the will to actually make a change try to take up entrepreneurship. My request to you all is that this is the best time that each one of you should actually understand what governments are doing in this direction. Like we in Madhya Pradesh are actually giving lot of such incentives for MSMEs, and a lot of those incentives are also given for startups and those incubation centers who are actually trying to support the startups. So I'm very hopeful that organizations, institutions like IIT Guwahati or such uh, prestigious institutions are definitely be having incubation centers, which needs to be nurtured, and the budding entrepreneurs needs to be given an opportunity. So my request to each one of you is to go and try to understand what exactly is happening in those incubation centers. And if you have an idea or an innovation, and if you are able to design certain processes, this is the best time. Why don't you actually register yourself as a startup on Startup India portal? Get recognized, try to get some seed funding, and try to develop into a startup company. So there are several such initiatives, whether in states or in Government of India. Today, Government of India's DPIIT department is making such immense efforts, and a lot of funding is done either through venture capital funds, angel investors, or alternative investment funds. Friends, this is the time we need to understand these terminologies and these ways of funding, because any such startup or any such innovation, any such company which has the will to go ahead need lot of funding. In the initial stage or further at different levels of growth of a company, you need funding. And you need to understand where this investment can come from, whether governments can support, whether institutions can support, whether venture capitalists can support, or organizations like when alternative investments funds can actually support you. So we in Madhya Pradesh have also onboarded alternative investment funds, and we are trying to see how the funds which are of private individuals who have come together and created such funds are able to invest in startups and incubation centers. Government of India's Fund of Funds is one of the most successful such program I would like to mention here, and they have been able to roll out more than 10,000 crores of funds for such startups. So this is a great opportunity at this point of time, and this is how Government of India and various state governments are making immense efforts for the ideas and innovations that our youngsters possess. So my request to all of you is try to understand, try to go and reach out to government institutions, reach out to such organizations which are trying to engage with lots of startups and incubation centers and MSMEs. I would also like to mention few international case studies also for your benefit and understanding how various governments across the world are actually boosting skill and entrepreneurship development and employment generation. The German government has developed a dual vocational training system that combines practical training in the workplace with theoretical education in vocational schools. The system has been successful in reducing youth unemployment and has helped to bridge the skill gap in the labor market. The system is now being adopted in other countries, including China and South Korea. The Chile government has launched the Startup Chile program in 2010 to attract innovative startups to the country. The program provides seed funding, mentorship, and networking opportunities to startups and has helped to create a thriving startup ecosystem in the country. The program has attracted over 2,000 startups from over 80 countries and has created over 10,000 jobs. The Rwanda, which is in Africa, the Rwandan government has launched Rwanda Coding Academy in 2018 to provide coding education to young people. The academy offers a one-year intensive program in software development and has helped to bridge the skills gap in technology sector. The Academy has trained over 500 so far with a job placement rate of over 90%. All these case studies across the world, and as I mentioned, there are several such initiatives by various state governments and Government of India uh, is making an immense effect in the area of skill, entrepreneurship development, and employment generation. So I would request at this point of time to the youngsters, to the budding entrepreneurs, to the ones who have a lot of idea and innovation, please try to go and talk to those entrepreneurs, those startup centers, those incubation centers where such innovation, where such immense innovation is happening. Try to understand the nitty-gritty of the investment and funding opportunities, and try to see to it how your startup, how your ideas, how your innovations, how your MSMEs can actually take a good shape, and they are guided very well by either mentors or through such companies who have already established themselves. And I'm sure that within 4 years of time, like more than 100 such ideas and innovations through startups have become unicorns. Your effort will definitely take you to such levels where you can also convert your smaller companies into unicorns. So friends, this is the time for entrepreneurship, self-employment, and startups in our country. This is a great opportunity that is unveiling, and I request you all to grab this opportunity and make your careers. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Narhari, who's the Secretary for MSME Department, Government of Madhya Pradesh, for putting forward, as he says, it's a time for entrepreneurship and employment. And it's a time, also the time to avail various schemes and the benefits that the Government of India and the state governments are extending, so that we become self-reliant, and ultimately it helps the socio-economic development of our region. Now is the turn of our speaker, young, dynamic bureaucrat who is been in the news for her work on the ground. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Kirti Jali, Deputy Commissioner, Kamrup District. Kindly take us through your initial experience of governance, ma'am.
Thank you, Sridhar. Respected Radhika Rastogi ma'am, respected Narhari sir, respected Kalyan sir, India Global officials, and my dear friends. Hokaloke mur namaskar. Kene ke aste? We've just heard Radhika ma'am speak on how the rural landscape is changing in terms of generating employment for yourself, be it through self-help groups, be it through farmer-producer organizations. We've heard Narhari sir speak on the MSME sector, which is the small industry sector. I would like to take you through the Assam experience to just give you a brief overall. But before that, I have a problem that such few people raise their hands as to how many want to join the government. Why not? क्यों ना है? अगर आपके घर में पानी ब्राउन कलर आता है, आप किसको ब्लेम करते हो? गवर्नमेंट को. आपका रास्ता खराब है, किसको ब्लेम करते हो? गवर्नमेंट को. अभी आप यहाँ जैसे बैठ के व्हाट्सएप कर रहे हैं दोस्तों को, अगर इंटरनेट नहीं आएगा, किसको ब्लेम करोगे? Government. So then it is your responsibility to join government. I joined government because I was tired of complaining. मुझे लगा मैं भी join करके कुछ सुधारने की कोशिश करूँगी. So that is how I joined civil services. मैं সকলো को request কৰি আছো, আপুনি আহক আৰু আমাৰ চৰকাৰক বদলীকৰণ কৰক. আপুনি DC অফিসত গৈ ইনকাম সার্টিফিকেট লয় এডমিশনৰ কাৰণে. DC অফিসত গৈ আপুনি কাষ্ট সার্টিফিকেটৰ কাৰণে লাইনত থাকে. ইমান মানে টান পায় ন, লম্বা লাইন থাকিব লাগিব, কোনো ভালকে কথা নাপাতে, কিয় আহিলে পিছত আহি যাবা, এটা মই চাহ খাই আছো, এনে কৰে ন. And which is why we come to the subject of changing face of governance. What we are trying to do, etu karone ye discussion important asse. Why does the face of government need to change? Because you as the youth, your aspirations are very different from what our aspirations was. Our aspirations were very different from our seniors' aspirations. Britishers के टाइम पे रास्ते पे जाने के लिए परमिशन चाहिए था. So आखु तेओ डीसी तात गोए लाइनों थाकी गाली खाए कि बा परमिशन लोए रास्ता जाबो पारे. So from that beginnings, today we are here where you are expecting that apunar income certificate apuni jodi gharote apply kore, apunak message ahibo ki income certificate ready ase, apuni ahi jabo aru loi jabo. In fact, ahibo nalage apuni print out lobo. Hoy na hoy. So that is the changing face of government. Today, you as the youth, you are expecting that everything comes in your phone, at your doorstep. You don't want to come to DC office and wait in lines. You're all students. Tomorrow, if you're going to start companies, you're going to start careers, you would rather avoid interaction with government because time is precious. So you don't want to wait for long times. So you want to say ki muk jikono service lage, hunkale ahibo pare. Agote apuni ki korisile gharor bijli bill officeot goi payment koribo lagisil. Etia apuni gharote bohi Paytm kori ase, online kori ase. Simple example, apni je mane mati revenue je diye, it is in cash form. Muk hoday request ahi thake ki apuni online korok. Ami Paytm korim. Ami NEFT korim. Apuni offline na korok. Iman cash amar hatot nae. That is a changing face of government, that there is the demand that is no longer happy with the services that government is offering. So that is where we are thinking of how better to be, how do we improve our services so that your aspirations are sorted. कितने लोग टिकटॉक में थे? टिकटॉक को क्यों बैन किया सरकार? Government didn't know TikTok was existing. आप लोगों ने इतना टिकटॉक किया, टेरेस के ऊपर जाके वीडियोस बनाए, फिर कोई टेरेस से गिर गया, फिर गवर्नमेंट को बोले कि रेगुलेशन करो. Hence we had to enter into a hitherto unknown aspect of कि ये टिकटॉक एक है platform which is being harmful, hence we had to ban it. PUBG कितने लोग खेलते हैं? आप सब लोग illegal version खेल रहे हैं because it is banned in the country. Again, why? Because parents started to complain that youth is getting affected and it's going in wrong directions. Hence, we need to stop playing this game. Today, as government, we have to deal with drone technology. Ajikali, apuni garote bohi online order kore, Domino's pizza, and वो 30 मिनट में नहीं आता है, तो पैसे वापस. 30 मिनट भी आपको बहुत लंबा लगता है. आपनक लागे कि अरे मैं ऑर्डर करिलो 10 मिनट भीतरते आइबो पारे नो. That is the changing need of youth, which government as a whole is supposed to understand, comprehend, and change our regulations. Government's main three stakes are regulation, law and order, and development. So development kota to apni huni asse. We are making better roads, we are making better power supply connections are being given every day. We are trying to facilitate opportunities in terms of opening up of shops, industries, and everything. There's the regulation aspect. You may question, हर किसी काम के लिए इतने permissions, इतने licenses क्यों चाहिए? That's the role of the government, that these regulations do not restrict. 90s से पहले आप लोग कभी I think पैदा भी नहीं हुए थे. हर किसी के घर पे phone नहीं होता था. उसमें license मिलता था कि किन किन घरों में telephone आ सकता है, and जिनको license मिला है उन्हीं को telephone मिल सकता था. Today, all of you who are under 18 or around 18, all of you are having phones. Because government has decided that उसमें हम licenses issue नहीं करेंगे. It's a free democracy. जिसको जो चाहिए आप खरीद लीजिएगा. We will regulate the technology so that it is not harmful to you, so that those mobile rays don't affect your health. So government, we as the face of government, we step back from who has to own the mobile to regulating how harmful are the signals, how is it affecting your health, and whether this information is being leaked to foreign countries. So that's where again government comes into picture. Law and order, jene ke apuni jane, kiba jodi strike hoye, kiba damage hoye jai public property karne, government comes into the picture. In today's day and age, these strikes are being held, or these opposition or this resistance to development is being held through various platforms. So government has to come into the picture and then take it forward in a mutually negotiable win-win situation. So that's again the changing phase. The other aspect is, of course, regulation, law and order, and development, which we've already spoken about. In this aspect, I would like to request all of you, because you've come for something called the Skill Conference, to think of how to be a job provider. सब लोग सोचते हैं मैं अमेरिका में जाके सेटल करूँगी, यूरोप में जाके सेटल करूँगी, मुंबई, चेन्नई, हैदराबाद, दिल्ली, तात भाल के सर्विसेज पाया से, इंस्टाग्राम और तात दिखाया से दुनिया के आसे facilities. What I am requesting you is that you should be a job provider to other youth. Start thinking in those lines. Can you set up companies? Infosys जैसे हम नाम सुनते हैं, that also started with 10 people. Amazon जिसमें आप सब लोग order करते हैं, that started in a garage of Jeff Bezos. So you can definitely think of ideas to be job providers. That is where we are talking about the changing face of government. We are easing out all kinds of regulations. Today's module is that आप आएंगे, आप यहाँ business शुरू करना चाहते हैं. There's a startup policy for Assam as well, where you can plug in and play. Basically, you come, all your regulations are sorted through us, so that you don't have to wait in long lines. You don't have to wait for people to come to you. We facilitate all of that. We also facilitate banks to give you loans where you can take off with your ideas. So all that we are asking you, who are the future of the state, to start thinking of solving your day-to-day problems using science, using technology. And if you want to start up, you want to start a company, you want to commercialize that, we as government are here to facilitate you. Which is why, the way Madam had said, if you want to even start a self-help group to produce, say, mushrooms. असम में आपको मशरूम कल्चर लाना है, आपको एवरी डे यू वांट टू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग ऑफ ईटिंग मशरूम्स, लड़कों के लिए मसल वसल बढ़ता है, इट्स वीगन प्रोटीन एंड ऑल दैट. So we are here to facilitate you, be it in terms of funding, be it in terms of technology, be it in terms of hand-holding, be it in terms of getting you resource persons to train you. You want to do something in drones. आपको लगता है कि ड्रोन डिलीवरी करेंगे अमेजोन का खाना, सॉरी क्या बोलते हैं, जोमेटो का खाना आपको ड्रोन से डिलीवरी करना है. दैट्स अ ग्रेट आइडिया. ऊबर, ओला सब जो यूज़ कर रहे हैं, अगेन दैट्स अ वेरी स्मॉल आइडिया दैट टुक ऑफ विथ टेक्नोलॉजी. So that is where we are welcoming you as the face of government, that we are here to contribute to your new aspirations, to contribute or to facilitate to your dreams, to facilitate to the dream of a new Assam, of a rising Assam, of an industrious Assam. That is where we as government want to help you out. So we are offering you a red carpet. Come join us in this revolution. And I'm sure that each of you will definitely contribute to the future of the state and the future of the country. One last thought I'd like to leave you with. As you're all aware that climate change is something that we are all grappling with. It's a concern for all of us. What my grandparents enjoyed in terms of pure air, pure water, I don't get to enjoy. And our future generations accordingly will have lesser resources, lesser land, climate that is constantly changing, farmers who are getting affected by this climatic changes. So you as the future, do not shun farming, do not shun agriculture. Let us bring technology into it. Let us bring science into it. Can we study the weather patterns to modulate our farming practices? These are the ideas that we are looking for. So I invite all of you to come with us, think of solutions to these problems, and think of a better Assam. And always think global, act local, work for your state, work for your country, develop. You are the future. All the best. God bless you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kirti Jali, Deputy Commissioner, Kamrup District, Assam. A huge round of applause for Ms. Kirti Jali once again. How many are going for a government job now? How many are going for an entrepreneurship? Amazing. So with this, I would hand over. So this was a wonderful session with Radhika Rastogi Madam, Special Director Lal Bahadur Shastri, National Academy for Administration, Mr. P. Narhari, Secretary MSME Department of Madhya Pradesh, and Ms. Kirti Jali, Deputy Commissioner, Kamrup District, Assam. Over to you, Sulakshana.
Can we have another round of applause for our dynamic speakers on the stage? Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening our audience with your valuable inputs and encouraging the students. As a token of appreciation, we would like to felicitate our distinguished guest here on stage with a memento. For that, may I request Dr. Kalyan Chakravarti, sir, to kindly do the honors. I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Shri P. Narhari, Secretary MSME Department of Madhya Pradesh, sir. Thank you for joining us virtually. Can we have a round of applause for Ms. Kirti Jali? Here we have Radhika Rastogi ma'am, IAS Special Director Lal Bahadur Shastri, National Academy of Administration. A round of applause for Ms. Kirti Jali, IAS Deputy Commissioner, Kamrup District.